She said it was just a mistake, a one-time thing. But the moment those words left her lips, I knew. I knew it was the lie she told herself. The lie she was now trying to sell me. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk from the store. A mistake is taking a wrong turn on the way to a new restaurant. What she did, that was a choice. A series of choices, actually. And deep down, I think she knew it too. The truth was there, hiding behind the panicked look in her eyes, the tremor in her voice. It was a truth I had been ignoring for months, a quiet whisper in the back of my mind that I silenced with excuses and false hope. But now, it was screaming at me. Our story began like a fairy tale. I was Mark, a software developer, and she was Clara, a vibrant art gallery curator. We met at a charity gala, a cliché, I know. I was instantly drawn to her laughter, which seemed to fill the entire ballroom. She had a way of looking at you that made you feel like you were the only person in the world. We fell in love fast and hard. Our dates were a whirlwind of art exhibits, late-night diners, and long walks where we'd talk about everything and nothing. Within a year, we were married. The first few years were blissful. We built a life together, a home filled with love, laughter, and the shared dream of one day starting a family. I thought we had it all. I thought we were unbreakable. The first crack appeared subtly. It was a late night at work for her, then another and another. "A big exhibition is coming up," she'd say, her voice tired over the phone. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? I was her biggest supporter. I'd have dinner waiting for her when she finally dragged herself through the door, her face etched with exhaustion. I'd rub her shoulders and tell her how proud I was. But the late nights became more frequent, and her exhaustion seemed to be replaced by a strange, nervous energy. She started guarding her phone. A device that once lay carelessly on the coffee table was now always in her pocket or face down on the nightstand. When I asked about it, she'd snap, "Can't I have some privacy, Mark?" The woman who once shared every thought with me was now building walls. The distance between us grew into a chasm. Our conversations became superficial, revolving around bills and groceries. The easy laughter that once filled our home was replaced by a tense silence. She started going out with friends from work on weekends, friends I'd never met. I tried to talk to her, to bridge the gap. "Clara, is everything okay? You seem so far away lately," I remember asking one evening. She just sighed, not even looking up from her laptop. "I'm just stressed, Mark. This gallery is a lot of pressure." It was always the gallery, always work. It became the perfect excuse, the shield she held up to deflect any real questions, any real intimacy. I felt like I was living with a stranger, a ghost of the woman I married. The loneliness was crushing. The truth finally ambushed me on a rainy Tuesday. I had left work early, hoping to surprise Clara with her favorite takeout and a movie night, a desperate attempt to rekindle some of the old magic. As I pulled into our driveway, I saw a sleek, unfamiliar sports car parked out front. My heart started hammering against my ribs. I told myself it was probably a client, a new artist she was courting for the gallery. I walked in quietly, not wanting to interrupt. The house was silent except for the sound of the rain against the windows. I called her name. "Clara? I'm home early." No answer. A knot of dread tightened in my stomach. I walked towards our bedroom. The door was slightly ajar. And then I heard it. Her laugh. Not the tired, strained laugh I'd grown accustomed to, but the full, uninhibited laugh that I had first fallen in love with. But it wasn't for me. It was followed by a man's deep voice, murmuring something I couldn't quite make out. My world tilted on its axis. Every nerve in my body screamed at me to turn around, to run, to pretend I hadn't heard a thing. But I couldn't. I had to know. With a hand that trembled, I pushed the door open. The scene that greeted me is burned into my memory forever. Clara, my Clara, was in the arms of another man. They froze, their laughter dying in their throats. The man looked at me with a flicker of panic before his expression hardened into one of arrogance. But it was Clara's face that shattered me. The guilt, the shock, the sheer terror. It was all there. "Mark, it's not what it looks like." The classic line. The most pathetic, insulting lie you can tell someone in that moment. "It's not what it looks like?" I repeated, my voice barely a whisper. The room felt like it was closing in on me. The man, whose name I later learned was Julian, a wealthy patron of her gallery, quickly dressed and made a hasty exit, muttering a pathetic apology as he brushed past me. Then it was just the two of us, standing in the ruins of our marriage. That's when she started with the excuses. "It was a mistake, Mark. It only happened this one time. It meant nothing. A mistake." She tried to reduce months, maybe even years, of deception into a single, forgivable error. But I knew. I saw it all clearly then. The late nights, the guarded phone, the work friends, the emotional distance. They weren't random, isolated incidents. They were puzzle pieces, and now they had clicked into place, forming a picture of betrayal that was ugly and undeniable. It wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated deception. A secret life she had been living right under my nose, in our home. "A mistake, Clara?" I asked, my voice finally finding its strength, laced with a pain so deep it felt physical. "Was it a mistake every time you lied about working late? Was it a mistake every time you hid your phone from me? Was it a mistake to bring him into our bed?" Each question was a hammer blow, and I could see her composure crumbling. The lie was too big to hold. The tears came then, but they offered me no comfort. They weren't tears of remorse for hurting me. They were tears of regret for getting caught. She confessed everything. It hadn't been just once. It had been going on for nearly a year. It started as a flirtation, an ego boost, and spiraled into a full-blown affair. She spoke of feeling neglected, of the spark being gone from our marriage. But she never once tried to talk to me, to fix what she felt was broken. Instead, she sought comfort and validation in the arms of another man. She chose the easy way out, the path of deceit. She claimed it was a mistake, but I knew the truth. The truth was that she had stopped choosing me a long time ago. The marriage I was fighting to save had already been dead for months. Acknowledging that truth was the most painful moment of my life, but it was also the first step towards my own liberation. Walking away from the life we had built was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. There were days when the grief was overwhelming, when the anger felt all-consuming. But with time, clarity came. I realized her affair wasn't a reflection of my worth, but of her own choices and her own emptiness. I started rebuilding my life, piece by piece. I focused on my work, reconnected with old friends, and found new hobbies. I started going to therapy, which helped me process the betrayal and learn to trust again, starting with myself. It was a long and difficult road, but with every step, I felt myself getting stronger. I learned that sometimes the end of one story is just the beginning of a better one. And while the scars remain, they are a reminder not of what I lost, but of the strength I found in letting go. Thank you for watching and for letting me share this part of my journey. If you've been through something similar, know that you're not alone and that healing is possible. Please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories. Your support means the world. Take care.